Can't think of the last live stream I've done. I think it was down at our offices in downtown St. Louis. Welcome, my dudes. Let's get some folks in here. Let's open up some cool stuff. You all can come on today. Survive the Rona. Barely. It was rough times. Down almost 40 pounds too, my dudes. I think the official count's 37. And that's over 6 weeks. Let's see if we can get some folks on here. Make sure people can hear me. Make sure everything's working well. And we're going to get into our CES calendar a bit. Oh, I see people coming. And BBT with exclamation points. What's up, my dudes? It's been a minute in the studio. You guys haven't seen me that much, man. Rona took about 11 pounds out of me. Feeling a lot better. Was not doing healthy. It's good to see. All right. And you guys can hear me fine. That's good. Got a couple of really cool things coming up. We got some BC 160s on their way. I was hoping that they would be here today and we could do that build. We're going to do that build. We got 6 of those coming in. So those new AMD cards, the mining edition cards. Got those ordered. Got them coming in. We're going to do an RTX 4000, the A4000. And it looks like we're going to get both a 2000 and a 6000 also. So, and there is word that we might be able to get our hands on some of the CXP cards too to do some testing with. So there is a ton of good content coming your way. We're going to do complete deep dives on those for you guys. Somebody says I sound better. It's good, man. Yes, I was not doing good. I want to say it really kicked my butt there for a bit. Richie P85 doing a Twitch Prime Tier 1 subscribe 46 months in a row. My dude. Longtime supporter. I went up to Canada, bro. We didn't have a drink. Still you drink. One day, my dude. We're going to do a couple more events down at our offices in St. Louis. We will make those known ahead of time this next time, a little longer. We were limited to how many people could come to that event, down to 100 people, no more. So we only gave kind of like one kind of shout out, and we actually almost filled the room. So hopefully once we get through this Omicron variant, we can actually get some more folks in there. That room holds up to 300 down there in downtown St. Louis. We'd like to hold and host an event, maybe an all-day event there sometime if we can. Otherwise, we'll find another location in and around our area to have folks out. I've had a lot of folks respond, different vendors and companies wanting to do a pairing with us and put on our own event, a miners event. Thing that I could have like power systems there, and then some other maybe some ASIC providers there, get some GPU providers there. Not too bad. Should be a good time. So we got some good stuff coming in. This is for CES fun. So we picked up a new lavender mic. This is the Shure Lavender Mic. And then we have our mobile Zoom H6. Can't wait to learn how to work this thing. So we're setting up a whole run and gun setup. So what I'm trying to do is not have to take this setup with me when we go to places like CES. We have kind of a mobile studio setup and then an actual studio setup, which is what we have here. So it should be pretty good. This here is what I've been waiting for, though. We ordered this a while back. The XF605. This is like Canon's latest and greatest big boy. This is going to be the upgrade for our setup here. And I'm going to bring this down just a bit. We're going to open this bad boy up. It says thoughts on Bitcoin. What do you mean thoughts on Bitcoin? Stack those sacks, my dude. Bitcoin's doing Bitcoin things. Hit 52, came back down to 47. It's a normal day of up and down 10%. Let's get through some of this fun. Get that thing registered for all the goods. Let's get this thing opened up. Take a look at this bad boy. So the 605 is getting us into that kind of semi-professional, professional camera game, especially when we're away at a lot of the different visits and sites that we're going to be doing this year. So I wanted something that was professional enough to capture moments without having to switch out a lot of lenses. We've been running around with the A6500, which is a good SLR, our DLSLR, mirrorless camera, but the fact of having to switch lenses all the time and stuff was kind of annoying, and the risk of getting something spotty on the lens or any of that. So moving to a more professional camera allows us to give you guys the great content at these different events and be able to capture things in much better clarity, especially in low light. If we look at some of the stuff at some of these events, they have very low light, and it just gets real grainy if you're not set up right on your your white balance and stuff. And I wanted something that was a little more on demand, quicker on demand with that. So this big boy, this thing's got some weight to it. So little unboxing here, the 605 live. We do a special little episode sometime with our camera gear sometime. We got our power cord here. What else do we got here? That is a dense battery. So I'm mostly a Sony shop. So we mostly had all Sony gear. So not having some compatibility with Canon is going to be interesting. So we'll just start picking up some Canon stuff, I guess. But I think that's most of it. There feel like there's other stuff in there. It's probably books and stuff. But we're gonna drop that down. Let's bring this back up. Bring this down here. CBBT Vanessa talking in here. She should be getting a video the rest of the way done. So there it is. Oh, it's got that's the battery for this thing. And this is the smaller battery. They do make bigger batteries for this. I have not bought any of the accessories for this yet. I was actually going to go to CES and talk through with Canon with some ideas here about the best approach for this. This goes in one way, it looks like. And down and she goes. All right, clicked in place here. Stickers here. This over here. So this, the lens cover right there. And if you guys, there is some really good video on this that BH Photo put together for it to kind of give you guys an idea of what this bad boy can do. But that is a pretty nice semi-professional camera to bring you guys the best stuff when we go to do some of these site visits. I'm looking forward to a nice upgrade like that. Need battery packs. Yes. We are going to have to pick up some battery packs for it. I do not think one of those is going to last very long. Looks like the shrouded cover here. Next in. It's like when you see somebody like me do this, I'm like a grape ape trying to put something like this together. Sony and Canon having... All right, I'll pay attention to this later and put the shroud on there before I don't break anything. But yeah, it looks like got a couple charging blocks here. And then I got to get the right kind of SD card for this one. We have some Sony ones that should work. And this is full. Yeah, this is a full 4K 60 native that goes way up the range there. Shoots in raw footage, log. 4K 60 does, I think it'll do all the way up to 4K 120, actually, if I have the right memory card set up in it. And then it'll do like 960 FPS at like 1080p. So it actually has a really nice slow mode too. But yeah, I'll get a little closer for you guys. I'm not focusing on that Canon. The lighting's not. I think it's a conspiracy that the Sony's like, I'm not focusing on that Canon. Ain't happening. You got to put that Canon where the Sony's at if you want me to focus on anything. Won't do it. Sony says no. So, what's up, my dudes? Some cool tech to bring you guys the goods. Now, some people are probably like, "What the hell are you guys doing this for?" So we're going to CES. If you guys don't know, I was very fearful that I wasn't going to be able to go, but I think we're good. I've now had multiple days of no symptoms and drinking lots of fluids, and the team's ready to go. We'll fly out Sunday and to bring you guys some CES content. So we're bringing the whole team out there. We're going to be trying to do 2-a-day videos. So essentially, the mornings are going to be the evening's content from the previous day. The afternoon/evening content is the morning of the same day content. So there's a rotation that will be each day of the way we're trying to do the video setups. So part of the structure that we're going through over the next 2 days is to get a lot of those kind of upload shells in place. So you guys will have continuous content provided, with, you guys getting any audio issues here? Let me see here. The countdown thing. It's showing like maxed out settings here. It'll have like a rotation back and forth of you guys will only be like 12 hours behind on what's going on in Vegas. And then of course we'll also have vlogs and live streams throughout all of it. So we'll be capturing content specific to what the areas that we're covering. We're also going to take different advantage and partition, points from people, points of view rather, from some of the other BBT folks that are going to be spreading out. So we're going to have BBT Jason. We're going to have BBT Ray out there. We're going to have Samantha out there with us. Vanessa will be working videos for you guys, making sure things are getting out there all the time. BBT Tim, which you guys didn't see until the previous CES. BBT Ben from Atlanta. He's a fellow longtime friend of the channel, and rig and farm runner himself, is going to be out there helping us. So it's a lot of coverage from a lot of different vantage points, and we're going to be trying to get you guys a lot of different content from CES with the perspective of crypto. Unfortunately, a lot of different vendors have decided to not show up because of, with COVID restrictions and issues and just concerns. So we don't know actually how many vendors are going to continue to have at least their stands set up, because a lot of that stuff comes out and shipped to Vegas and starts to get set up in mid-December for CES as they start to build the floor and getting all that kind of set up. So while certain vendors like AMD and Intel and NVIDIA and Microsoft and who was there other, Amazon, I think, canceled. Meta, I got Miss BBT in the background saying Meta, all have canceled. It doesn't necessarily mean all of their booths and stuff are shut down. It just means that they're not going to be there physically represented of like their engineers and folks that normally, one of the cool things about CES is you get to go talk and interact with those folks and, have just genuine conversation. So we're going to see what things are still set up. A couple of the vendor booths that I really like and enjoy, MSI always puts on a pretty decent booth. So does Asus. Hopefully they're there. And then there's a huge section of kind of the up and coming vendors that bring a lot of the knickknacks and cool, interesting tools and toys and stuff like that, like to kind of go through. So having a lot of that coverage on the ground with you guys, ask the questions, do the stuff live. I usually like doing a live stream as we're out there doing it. But then having some more tailored content around the new stuff that you guys like to see. If you guys recall, a few years ago, I went around with like having a USB miner, and I was trying to test some of the hardware on some of the live machines there just to see what we could get from hash rates on some of the stuff. But, I don't know if they'll give us any space and time for that, but we'll see what we can get going. But that coverage actually starts on Sunday as we're flying out there. So make sure you're liking and subscribing. Make sure you're following us on Twitter for that kind of content. A lot of that stuff will go straight to Twitter, and then we'll have more produced content throughout the days, each day. So Jim says he thinks that crypto is going to be insane this year. I mean, each year there's always a pretty substantial crypto section that keeps growing. I like seeing a lot of these kind of companies you've never heard of, and they try to bring some of their gear and equipment there. I am interested in the Sands Expo. They always have an area that is like the lesser known companies bring some of their hardware there. We've seen it 2 years ago when we were there in January of 2000, right before they shut down everything for COVID. We were there right there in the Shenzhen Plaza at the Sands Expo, and got to talk to a lot of different vendors. Ones that were trying to build hardware. There was ASIC manufacturers there, memory makers, Micron. I mean, all these different kinds of companies that we could go and have talks with their engineers and kind of get the brass tacks of what's going on the supply chain side. So hopefully there's still good representation on that side there. It's kind of the sweet gems you find down there in the Sands Expo that you just would never have access to without going to something like CES. And remember, CES isn't like a big open retail market type of thing. It's vendors, it's buyers, it's sellers. It's an industry event. So we go there obviously as media, and we cover it as media. So it gives us an exposure to what's coming out from an innovation and technology stack standpoint. So, I mean, if you're really into like nerding out with the technology, it's a great event, especially if you're a business owner. As we're in our third crypto winter with Bitcoin hovering around 47,000. We got a Ravencoin halving coming up here in like less than 15 days. Too. Should be interesting times over the next few weeks. Can't wait. We got a lot to do though between now and when we take off. Got to get this baby configured, test it, see what else I'm missing. Get a couple more batteries. I don't know if we'll be able to order those before we leave, but we'll may have to have some of that stuff delivered to Vegas. But the I can't believe it actually came before. I pre-ordered this thing like, I don't know, 7 months ago after watching a few of the initial alpha reviews on this thing. It's ridiculous. This thing is like a proper camera, like a proper camera. I don't know if I'm cool enough yet to operate this bad boy. But we got several other builds too. I got 3 custom, actually 4 custom PC builds that we're going to be doing when we get back. We got the editing workstation that's going to be all water cooled. It's going to have the Kingpin 3090 in it. We still got that to build with the large 7000D case from Corsair. We got the BC 160s. If those land before CES, if those land tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and do that build quickly. And we're going to show you guys the stats on those new AMD GPUs. They're supposed to be around 60 something, maybe 70 mega hash at very low wattage. So we'll see. I believe they're HBM2. So I'm interested to see the performance on those. And then we have the A4000 and the A2000 coming in slightly after that. So we're going to do a deep dive test on that. You guys did have some pretty good engagement on the A5000 video that we just did. I mean, I think we're up to almost 12,000, 13,000 views on that, which is pretty good for this channel. Do applaud you guys for taking a view of that. Trying to get back into some more of that content as we're getting a lot more other GPUs in that's replacing a lot of our older stuff that out at the farm. We'll try to get you guys some of that. Somebody, I can't see the comments here. We got the screen way down here. Let's blow this up a little bit. But yeah, we got one other event coming up in January. Also, I'll be making a trip down to the Texas area, and we're going to be doing a quick event down there, and then coming back. And in February, we're going to host an event at our St. Louis headquarters again, and see if we can get some folks out there for that event. And we're trying to lock in at least one more speaker, so to be me there, of course, and then. That's always a catering event, and our events are free at our St. Louis location. So if you are in the St. Louis area sometime in February, we'll put the dates out there here as we start to solidify who the other speaker that will be there will be. That's a free event. So it will be through an Eventbrite, because we have to maintain how many people actually show up, because our building can only take so many people because of the COVID restrictions. But it does have a bar, and we do offer free alcohol 21 and older. So it's a catered and free beer event at our offices in downtown. But look for that in February. So we're not going to have one in January. It's just too close, and there's just too much going on this next month. But we're going to have a free, we like doing like an education event there for crypto in general. Just like kind of the kickback to the old, like Bitcoin and beer, meetups, to where, we have a good speaker come in and talk to everybody, and you guys get like kind of a picture meet and greet with folks and us. And it's good stuff. We had our first one this past month, in mid-December. It went very well. You guys saw it. I mean, it was only about 2.5 hour event. It was kind of in, it was out. It was real quick, but I did enjoy building a machine in front of everybody. I was losing my voice at that point in time, and then circumstantially, like a week, like less than a week later, I ended up getting COVID. So then now I have made it through that, and then I'm on the mend on that. So 2 days now, no symptoms. So kick butt. Little foggy, but we'll get this next event kicked off, and then hopefully have a good rhythm for you guys that we might be able to do one monthly at our location. And then of course Crypto World, which BBT owns part of BBT company. We have every Tuesday mornings is a crypto and coffee, and then on Thursday nights is a Bitcoin and beer event. So, and again, they're just meetups, like-minded folks that are in the space wanting to learn more from other people and talk with other people's experiences. And, it's still that kind of very grassroots type of setup. So what's up, my dudes? I see a few names in here I know. I think somebody said hobbyist miner. There he is. I see it, buddy. Bitcoin and beer sounds like a miner's dream. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's a good time, man. I highly recommend. I think we're kind of overexposed on this lighting. I have to take a look here. Maybe I am just pale. I don't know. It is like dead of winter here. Already in Heaven is real exciting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, I mean, numbers of usual only went up on a halving, so we'll see. How's the ASIC deployments going at the farm? So right now we're waiting for our PDU upgrades. So we're going through a PDU upgrade right now. So a lot of the 30 amp PDUs are not really designed for the ant miners. They're 15 amp banks. There's 2 of them to make the 30. And you essentially got to spread, a couple of those across 2 banks. And with the way we have it set up, we would need to use 3, plugs on that per PDU, which is just really taxing the PDU to about 24 amps. And that's about the max on one of those normal APC PDUs. So we're going through a PDU upgrade right now. Free beer, I'll book my ticket right now. Yes. So last time we did go through several tens of cases of free beer. Part of our office, so we're in a tech incubator, which allows us to leverage the space together with several other companies. It's just more of you have to organize the time around when you can book it. And then the bar that is part of our facility is a shared bar. And then that product is completely covered by Anheuser-Busch, which is the local beer company that's in St. Louis, Missouri. So AB supplies it with a range of products. So we had like Stella Artois and, Budweiser, Bud Light, Michelob, Shock Top, a range of other products from Anheuser-Busch and the InBev connection there. And then since they supply the beer and there's no liquor license at that bar, we have to give it away for free. Oh darn. So as long as you're 21 years or older, it's free beer. So it's kind of a really cool thing. You have the incubator, plus you have the these larger companies really trying to make sure that you have a good environment to host events at, and then create kind of the right environment to create good conversation, and who knows, you cut different business deals and that sort of thing. So it's actually a pretty decent setup. The picture is great. Thanks for live stream. Yeah, it seems a little washed out, but I mean, if it looks nice and sharp. Now, the Sony camera that's on there right now that we use is actually a really good camera. I mean, we use the AX100i, or the FDR 100i camera. It's a very, very good camera from Sony. And that's our main kind of main camera. This one here is going to be the run and gun one. So like when we're out at events and stuff, this is the new Canon. I even forgot that it's a 605. It's the brand new one, the XF 605. This is the latest. I mean, when I say latest, it literally, I'd pre-ordered this like 6 months ago, heard that it was coming out, looked at the specifications, saw all the XLR inputs and everything. And I was really 50-50. Like, were we going to go like a Red Dragon? But then I started looking at all the accessories when it comes to getting like a Dragon. And like, before you know it, I would be well over $10,000 just from accessories and all the different lenses and stuff. I wanted a one-stop shop camera that would be able to do all the running and gunning stuff that we wanted to go to, that had very good low light and was, you know, a professional camera. When we go to these different crypto events and stuff, I wanted some good coverage. So we ordered this 605 and then it came available on Monday and we paid the rest of the invoice off and it literally was like first overnighted here. So I could not believe I got it earlier today, ready to go. So it allows us to take this to CES, and this will be our run and gun shot for CES. So to bring you guys some really good content, very clear, crisp, no loss in fidelity. Looking really forward to learning how to use it. So are you using any 60 amp 220V PDUs? No. So we use we have a whole bunch of 30s in our farm, and then we have 150. We have the 30s and then we have the 50s, but none of the 60 amp one that you're talking about. We have the 50 amp larger PDUs, and we're actually sunsetting all of that, and we're moving to 150 amp custom PDU that you guys will see unveiled once we get them at the farm and we start getting them installed. We'll show you guys that kind of setup. When we made our visit up in Canada, we had talked to a company that was building containers, and that company also makes PDUs, 150 amp railed PDUs. And that's what we're switching the farm over to. So then it's, they're 30 amp 277V. So it's a little higher voltage. So versus stepping down to 208, moving over to the 277 volt, setup, which now allows you a little more if you take your amps times your volts and you look at your range, that you can actually get that you could daisy chain the Antminer S19s in a better way with those versus the 208. Having two per the 30 amp, we'll be able to get 2.5 per 30 amp on the 277V. So we're switching over to that. We'll walk you guys through that as that stuff shows up, and BBT Todd will show you guys that kind of wiring setup that we're doing for that. But we're seeing already an impact having both with the GPUs running and having the ASICs running at the same time, both leveraging the PDU. It's overstressing the setup that we have there right now. Yeah, the black box PDUs. Nice. Who's that, Manic Row? It's the graphics very bright. That $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Do appreciate that. We rolled that right back into the channel. You know that. That's what helps pay for all this kind of stuff and bringing you guys good content. We take a lot of that and go right back into it for you guys. Joe Manic with the super chat. Yeah, there was a little delay on the little the thing there. Thoughts on Nervos Network? I haven't really checked into Nervos that much. I know there's a few channels that have covered it quite a bit. I know that they have they had their the POS network, right? So you can do some staking on it. But it looked like it went to FPGA pretty quick, and what now is it ASIC full? So it kind of stepped away from it after that. It's the same with KDA. I know a lot of people that were running KDA for a while had done very well with KDA. And, I get quite a few questions about helium because we haven't covered any helium content. I've had many helium companies reach out about sending us a device. I was still had a lot of questions with the helium network in general when it comes to like FCC regulations. And I was worried with helium's network where if you redistributed any of your internet in any capacity, even though it's a mesh, the basic concept eventually would be that it would be a mesh network connected to each other, all the helium nodes. The fact that the current payment rail network setup still runs on your existing home internet, and then you're using the internet and rebroadcasting the helium node through that, like typical FCC regulation, it's a very gray area. So I had questions with helium, like, hey, how are you guys going to address that? Is there a lot of risk if people get a whole bunch of these devices and then FCC comes down on some of the different, internet providers? What if they start, having an impact on the network? I was worried that everybody would be then stuck with all these devices and they couldn't do anything because the FCC bans them. But I got kind of I don't want to say a cold shoulder. I just never got any kind of response on it. So I never really covered helium for that. I've just got questions and they could probably be answered pretty quick. But yeah, I've kind of stayed away from it just for that reason. And it's not that I agree or disagree with anything with FCC at all. It's more of just, I hate to find out after the fact and then have this device and spend all that money on it. So, I mean, there could be an argument with any proof of work network. It's just, communication is a little different on that. And so being an IoT device. BBT Todd needs needs a vacation after all of the having. Yes. Actually, BBT Todd went on a little vacation, and he is not coming with us down to CES. He's going to be working farm stuff. He's done a couple times the CES beat and knows that grind is real. I mean, that first day at CES, we usually hit about 37,000 steps. So it's quite a bit of walking. I'm actually kind of worried about it because being down with COVID for the past week, it really took a lot out of me. But I think I'll be ready for it. I do have a pretty awesome team behind me now with being able to carry a lot of gear and stuff. So let's hope all that works out well. But I think we'll have a pretty good coverage there. But don't get me wrong on the helium, folks. I know there's a lot of folks that have done very well with helium, and I'm happy for them. And it's one of those things where if you've definitely been able to get your ROI out of it, and you are planning on proverbial house money on it, and you're like, you know what, hopefully it all works out, and there's no issues with FCC or any of that, I think it'd be pretty interesting. I know there's also a lot of people that had a lot of miners that they haven't received yet. And there was a lot of pre-sales done on it. I just, if you guys look at the things that I cover, in the sponsor stuff or any of that, it's usually with people that can deliver. So like Compass on the, mining aspect with, getting miners and making things good, that when they did have one situation that was not as well, where they had a North Carolina facility kind of back out and have some issues, and then they made good for everybody on there, delivered everything that they needed to, working with companies that really follow through, and that are good size. There's, you take a risk anytime you work with any kind of company if they're going to be able to deliver on any of that. We're just trying to bring you guys a lot of good content. That's why we don't really, I don't want to call it shill a lot of stuff. We just observe, report a lot of stuff. So we went out and bought the A5000, the 2000. We bought the CXP that's coming. We have the, I'm trying to get a 6000 still yet. I haven't been able to buy an A6000. We have the BC 160s coming. I paid for those. They're coming here. So it's, we're trying to make sure that everything that we cover is something that we spend our own money on, and then give you guys that kind of aspect. There's a few things that we haven't had like that. We had the iPolo Grin miner that we did a coverage on, which is still running, which so far to date has ROI'd. It's gotten that much more Grin. Grin's a much more difficult network though to interact with. It's an interactive network, which means you have to have your wallet online for you to be able to get your payouts and stuff. I think that's part of its issue and its downfall to Grin when it comes to it. But the miner works. It's functional. It's paid out through Grin solo mining. Fine. Voscoin sent over his Voscoin Litecoin miner, Doge miner. And I mean, I think those units were $799, and they maybe so far have made up to $400. So they haven't, it still hasn't ROI'd, as it were. I think the ROI on that was at the time was 9 months, and it's been about 7 months. So it's still a little behind. It looks like it's going to take a little over 13 months now to get that. But again, it all comes back down to Litecoin and Dogecoin price. If Dogecoin goes back to 50 cents, then it's done. It's over. Same thing with Litecoin being at like 300. So a lot of it's relative to the yield that you get, and then what the yield is worth, right? So the same thing right now with folks that are mining anything right now and not getting as much, but the prices are down and suppressed. We get back into a full bull market, and everything goes back up near all-time highs, then your value that you've earned so far is a lot higher. Are you guys getting those GPUs from Alibaba? So we have a couple vendors. E-Energy is one of them, which was an old Alibaba vendor, and then MA Labs. Yeah, and a lot of those cards are kind of hard to get into bulk. I know with our 4,000 order and the 5,000 orders, they were in 250 card bundles. Like they would come in at 250, and you either had to take them that day or wait for the next batch if there was going to be another batch. The CXP card, I was able to just get one, but trying to get them in volume, it was nearly impossible. Because a lot of vendors already get them. I mean, so there's already larger Hut 8 and other companies like that have picked up, 10,000 at a time, and they just eat up all the supply. So come on, I know you guys got some more stuff. You guys haven't seen me in a little bit. We're going to be bringing you guys some kick-ass content. What do you guys want to see at CES? What's the innovation? Is there anything that's crypto related? There's always something crypto related. There's always a scammy crypto thing too out there. I remember the Acute. You guys remember that? It was like the little triangle tokenized things. I mean, there was so much scammy stuff there like 2 years ago. What do you do? So most of the vendors find us. I don't look for any vendors on Alibaba. Usually I have them reach out. I look at any of their kind of specifications that they have, that how long they've been on Alibaba. And usually I just do one. I always take a risk with buying one item from them. And if they deliver, then we may scale it back up. And then, it'll go to 6 cards. And if the 6 cards come through, then we'll scale it up to something bigger. But I do not take their first, hey, minimum order quantity is this. I said, no. I ain't sending you anything unless you send me one card. I want to make sure you're real. And then if they can deliver the goods, then we work our way up. That's the way it usually works. And then I usually make it available for you guys. We've shared out E-Energy's contact information on Twitter for you guys that are trying to look for cards. This is another little tool that I have no idea about, but we're working through. Some discovery on, which is the Zoom H6. I don't know if any of you guys in the audience know anything about this guy, but we're going to be putting this thing together for our mobile microphone to make sure that we're capturing good audio when we're on the floor talking to people. One of the biggest comments at CES that I've had every year that I go there is when we're talking to somebody on the floor, especially like in a live stream, you guys can't hear anything because it's so loud. Because CES is just a loud event. So we're trying to make a step this year to make sure not only from a video content, we got a professional setup here for you guys on the run and gun there, but then we're also got a this little H6 handy recorder that we can also plug in this thing. Okay, it goes like that. This thing looks like a tricorder, my dudes. So this batteries they give you. I still think it's funny that they'll ship things with batteries these days. Fujitsu. One of my very first laptops was a Fujitsu. I love that Fujitsu. Going to get this thing going. See what this one's about. So we got this to give when we're getting a good interview from somebody. You guys will be able to understand and hear with good clarity. Hopefully as good as this clarity here. Rich Reporter. That 50 Canadians. Like a boss, my dude. When are we going to make it? When is this COVID going to end and you can come down and enjoy some time down out of the office with us, bro? You're always invited. It is a round of drinks with Richie P. All right. No idea what's going on here. So this language. Select next. And set the years. We are almost at 22. Can you guys believe that? Like 12:29. Like what is even going on right now? A $2 super chat also there. It's all that Ghost thinks he's gigamiter. I can't read that. That color is not coming in good there. Just saying, my dude says Matic. Nice with the $5 super chat. You guys are filling up the board these days now. OSD card. Look at this thing. This thing is redonkulous. So this plus the Shure mic will give us a hopefully high quality sound that you guys are hearing right now when we're in the busiest part of CES and we can get that recorded. This is a 6-way input microphone. So we can have a direct connect into this held for a user, and then I could be talking into this and getting very clear high definition audio that also could be hooked to this device. So we can actually hook that onto here and have, a proper, with the shoe sitting like this and this thing actually recording exceptional sound with exceptional video, bringing stuff up to the next level for you guys. So, my dudes, what else we got going on? We're going to be, you guys are going to see the 160 coming up before we leave. We also have quite a build coming up here. Let me see if I can bring it up here. This is going to make you guys sad. You're going to be like, this is sacrilege. Showing me this. I'm going to tell you it's going to be worth it. 1 second. Making room. Making room, my dudes. Don't want to lose any of this stuff. Okay. That thing's so dense and heavy. All right. Here we are. Oh no. At least $5. Oh, what's that? What's that? That is one of the next builds. That is 8X non LHR 3080s. Gamers everywhere are weeping. Oh, yes. And no, these aren't just boxes. I know some people pass this off as boxes. These are not just boxes, my dudes. These are the unicorns. They're not the original launch editions, but they're not the LHRs. They're they're the like kind of in the middle between LHR launch and after they fixed all the kind of initial 3080 issues. Because I know some people forgot that when they actually released the first versions of, you remember the 3080 cards and 3090s where they had like bad internals and they were popping and weren't doing well. This is the version after that. So yes, these are still the good ones. Yes. What's this? 20% off? 20% off? What? Nobody can do no 20% off. There it is. Brand new. Never opened. Absolute sacrilege. It's not in a box. I know. For the Win 3. Triple eight pens. Yeah. Got an 8X build coming up of these. And then we'll do a we have enough for a 14X build of one of these, but that is quite the density. F in the chat for the gamers. Somebody says. Carter test with the slow roll, yeah. We had 59 of them in a video somebody showed a month ago. Yes. We had 54 of them. So, or no, 56. We had 56. We had ordered 56 of them. A while, like a long time ago, and they took them forever to get in. I thought for sure they're going to be LHRs that came in, and they weren't. They were original of those. But we paid a premium for them back then too. Reading some of your guys' comments. You liking the A5000s? Yes. I think the 5000s are extremely underrated. They're a great card. And I think I'm going to do like a 3080 versus a 5000 review where we'll just kind of head them up head to head. I mean, the 5000 is just, it's the next level up card wise. I mean, your max TDP on it's 230 and it's getting 100 and, well, you guys saw it 109. We got 109 mega hash at 230 watts. That's phenomenal. The 4000 is a lot cheaper. It's better. I can't tell anything about this 6000. We haven't got one yet. I'm trying to source one. If we can get a 6000, we're going to do some testing on it. I'm hoping that when I'm at a CES, I can actually test a 6000 out there. Somebody for sure out there will let me test one. Do you replace the pads before use? We'll test them on these cards to make sure that they're good. We do have extra thermal pads that we can do some testing on. The issue with thermal pads is like sometimes you can mess it up. Like if you don't get it just right. And we've seen that with a few different ones that we've done thermal pads on where we actually made the temperatures worse. So you really got to look and see if you're exceeding thermal pad issues because not all of them have the same issues. But if you do have thermal pad issues, you got to replace them. And that's part of one of the cool things about CES too, is I can't wait to find some new vendors for like things like thermal pads. Like I'm on the lookout for them, and I will be sharing information like that for you guys. That's the stuff that like people are like, oh, you guys are going to go out there, you're going to see Intel, AMD, NVIDIA. We'll hear the same things that we can find online. Why would you guys waste your time going out there? The advantage of going to CES and going to something like the Sands Expo Center are all the smaller vendors that are your suppliers. They're the ones actually creating the content and the different ancillary supporting stuff. So we're talking not just 3M pads. There's other companies that make, thermal pads, thermal grease, that sort of stuff. I can't wait to find new vendors. We'll be looking for those folks out there at CES. And then that helps us help you guys. Now that we have a retail location with Crypto World, we're going to be putting a lot of that and stocking that stuff in Crypto World. Let me ask if I've been feeling better. I am feeling a lot better, guys. I was not doing very well for a little bit there. And over like the last, 7 weeks now, I've been kind of on a very rigid diet with a workout plan, which unfortunately I got COVID now in the middle of this. But from the time that I started doing the workout plan, I'm down almost 40 pounds. So it's quite a bit. I can't fully physically see it yet, but I mean, I still got some work to go. I still probably got about another 80 pounds that I'd like to lose, but my goal is to be 200 pounds by this time next year. So that's down pretty quick, or pretty a lot from where I was at. So I was around 327 from a weight standpoint. And as of this morning, I was 289. So quite a bit of change so far for me for that. So Corona kind of helped me kick it in the gut a little further, and helped me advance 11 pounds faster than I should have. But we'll see how that goes. So this time next year, 205, baby. That's what the goal is. I wish I could say, I mean, it's made me feel better, but with COVID kicked my ass. Like COVID was not fun. But yeah, we're going to keep it on, keep it going. And a lot of that's just doing the mostly full reduction of carbs. So I'm not doing any carbs, and I've greatly reduced my caffeine intake, which was tough, but COVID actually helped with that because I couldn't drink anything anyways, hardly. So we'll keep that up. Go put a 40-pound vest and you'll feel it. I bet I will. I mean, I can feel it just walking around and walking upstairs and stuff. 40 pounds is a lot of weight. You can feel that on your knees. But it's taken 7 weeks on that, my dudes. So hopefully, maybe tomorrow we'll see some spot footage of this. The newest camera to add to the BBT clutches here. I have no idea how to do anything with this. Well, cool. The eyepiece goes up and down. We're gonna play around. I'm gonna watching some videos, making sure I have the right memory card set up for this. I know this thing takes like dual cards and stuff. It's got 2 SIM card connection or cards here that we can go back in the back, or that I can write to, I think, simultaneously. But it also has backups. And then figure out just a lot of the settings and setups here, and then we'll get join button. Oh, somebody's asking why you can't join. I don't know. We haven't really set anything up with YouTube. We'll take a look at that. I know some people have asked us about the join button, about being able to join. I think like you can on Twitch, like for the Twitch viewers right now can join and get the emoticons with Twitch. We'll take a look at that. We'll put that on the list for you folks for live streams, and we'll get it in there. And maybe there's some privileged stuff when you join that you'll be able to get access to. We've been thinking about if we were doing any kind of thing like that, if we did any kind of join button or any of that, of maybe having like, if you guys would think it'd be interesting, having like a planned time where we could have, I would jump into like Discord and you guys would have, like, anybody that's a joined member like that could have maybe an hour every couple of weeks or something where I jump in there and just talk to you guys, take questions, that kind of stuff for the folks that are part of that. I mean, part of anything like that, that's a membership thing, should have some level of privileges on that. Also, there's a lot of interesting stuff we can do with this channel compared to a lot of other channels because we have a retail location. Crypto World in St. Charles, Missouri is a retail location. You can come in there. There's tons of different swag and hardware and all kinds of stuff in there. Mining equipment, graphics cards. We got a little bit of everything there. I know that Jeff has been updating the website and trying to get everything listed. I think he updated a Telegram channel. I told him that was bad. I don't like really doing business on Telegram in any way. So I'm trying to get him to make sure that we have the website set up with all of the merchandise for you guys can be able to pick up, use GPUs and that on the website. But we're going to get a lot of that to where you guys have access to that and then have some kind of tie-in to that join button that would be tied to, the retail location too. So maybe be able to accrue points and stuff to be able to get swag and stuff like that. So I think it'd be a really cool tie since we have that crypto connection with the store front compared to a lot of other channels that don't have like a storefront or anything like that. So I think it's something that is different for us and is a differentiator in the space. And be able to bring a lot of really cool different types of hardware too. That's the other kind of run that we're going to be doing out there at CES, is working with vendors that are out there that want to put things in our store at Crypto World. If I go to Crypto World, can I get an autograph? Well, absolutely, my dude. Of course. We'll have to coordinate it from a time that I can be there. I try to make it out to at least once a month to one of the cryptos and coffees and one of the Bitcoins and beers. And of course at our place in St. Louis when we have an event there. All right, my dudes. Hey, it's a little after 1 hour. We're going to wrap this one up. It was good conversating with you guys. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. We're going to have some pretty cool videos coming up in the next day with that newest hardware from AMD, the BC 160s. We did order those. They have shipped them. I have the DHL saying they were out for delivery today. I thought they would be here. I wish they were here. I could open them in front of with you guys. We will do that BC 160 full build. It's a 6-card GPU rig that we're going to do with that one. And then when the CXP card comes in and the A4000 and 2000s, we'll be doing that. BBT Ray and I are going to build one of those live with you guys. And then we're going to do also, I think, the editor build live here. That's going to be a long live stream. So hopefully you guys have the tolerance for that one because we're going to do a full water cool setup. And I am a dumb monkey putting together something like a water cool build, an actual full loop. So that will be interestingly fun. We're going to try to make it as fun as possible. Try to get the right camera angles on it for you guys can see us go through that build. I'm going to have multiple people here for that build, helping us, taking camera angles of everything, and we're going to do a full build on that. That's the new Intel Gen 12. Is 12th Gen? Yeah. 12th Gen i9 12900K with the latest everything. It's literally like a $10,000 build. So we got that big honking, what is that thing? The Kingpin. Hold on real quick, I'll grab it. Look at this thing. This thing is ridiculous. Live out of this thing. This thing is ridiculous. So this is the Kingpin. I mean, that thing's like a solid block. It's got this like little screen that flips up. Complete beast. This thing is just not one autofocus. I think I turned the autofocus off. Yeah, I had my autofocus turned off on my camera. That's why I wasn't focusing earlier. I was like, what the heck? So yeah, this is the kingpin that we're gonna do with that. And then now that that's working, here's the close up of the new camera here. So this is the new run and gun camera that we got, my dudes. So this is the 605 from Canon. We have little beast. Got to flip up. It's got the camera, so you can flip it around. So this thing is like professional vlogger camera with, you know, where I can actually see with the flip lens. It's ridiculous. This thing is unbelievable. Stepping up in the world, getting it done. It's ridiculous. So, all right, my dudes, we're gonna wrap this one up officially. Let me spin this. Lose me there, and we'll get. Man, that lighting's a little better, but it's like kind of blaring on that one side. All right, my dudes. Hopefully this was a good stream, fun stream, kind of totally unorganized stream, but give you guys some insight of what's coming up. Thanks for all the super chats, my dudes. We'll get that